I'm PJ Kleffner, a District 7 Pathways Guide. I'm here today to introduce you to the latest educational program from Toastmasters called the Pathways Learning Experience. Several regions in the world have already started using it, and here is a short video clip to let you hear some of their comments.
What I like best about Pathways is the fact that it's much more customized to what you may want to get out of Toastmasters, what your goals are.
It's basically Toastmasters updated.
The base camp is like having a personal coach. It guides you through the journey of Pathways and tells you the next steps.
One of the things I liked about Basecamp is that I can tell where I am in my journey and continue at the next step. I know exactly where I am.
I've used it on a computer, I've used it on a tablet, I've used it on a phone.
It's really cool that we're able to go on to Basecamp and take a quiz that determines what path best suits our needs.
One of the most surprising things about the assessment is that it gave me more awareness about what exactly I was looking for.
The questions were very introspective.
And the assessment was very intuitive.
Taking the assessment helped me really put a finger on my goals.
These paths are going to aid me in a more specific way than the previous programs did.
The path that I chose really gave me the step-to-step roadmap into achieving my goals.
There are 10 different paths. It's amazing how much opportunity there is for the future.
Pathways has led me to a whole new level.
I'm really appreciative that Toastmasters has this new, exciting format. After decades of having an old format, we are now up to date and we can determine which path best suits the individual.
As you can see, the people who are using it already are really enjoying the experience. A little bit of history. Toastmasters was started by Ralph Smedley in 1924. He realized that effective communication skills were key to success in all relationships, both personal and professional. He also believed that we had hidden abilities we didn't even know were there. And those abilities could be discovered by supporting one another and learning from each other in a speaking environment. The program first started with a basic training manual that he put together in 1940. That manual has evolved over the years since then into what we have today. We have 2 tracks, a communications track and a leadership track, plus 15 advanced communicator manuals, so members can customize the experience for their own interests and goals. He also realized that people learn more effectively when they're having fun. Don't we enjoy doing things if we have fun doing them? That's what we try to do in Toastmasters. In 2010, the board of directors of Toastmasters International gave world headquarters staff a challenge. They said it is time to update the Toastmasters program and bring it into the 21st century. They wanted the program to remain the high-value program that we have today. They wanted it to be fun. They wanted it to be customized for individuals' needs and goals. It needs to be flexible so that people could access it under a variety of circumstances. We needed to add more resources and more materials because there are so much more capabilities now that we didn't have when the original program was developed. We're adding those new resources that include assessment quizzes, videotapes showing you, modeling how to do the behaviors. It's a lot more than what we were used to seeing before. Evaluations are a critical part of Toastmasters because that's how we learn. We do something, then we receive immediate feedback so we know how to improve and do it better. Evaluations tend to be somewhat subjective, so they vary from club to club. One of the goals of the new program is to make those more consistent across different clubs. The result is Pathways. You get to tailor it to your own needs It's a self-paced learning program, just like the program is today. There's a lot more flexibility. You can choose to access the materials online through a portal called Basecamp. We'll be talking more about that. And you have greater access to a lot more materials. A lot more resources are available out there, and all of these materials are designed to be applicable to real-world situations. Let's look at another short video clip, which will give you some idea how it actually works.
Welcome to the Toastmasters Pathways learning experience, an exciting, flexible, and interactive way to develop your skills and help others in your club develop theirs. Building on Dr. Smedley's original vision and Toastmasters' core competencies, Pathways upholds the club experience while offering new, revitalized educational content that helps you learn communication and leadership skills that address real-world scenarios. Pathways expands on the current education and leadership tracks by offering more than 300 competencies across 59 projects. These projects are divided into 10 specialized learning paths that allow you to tailor your experience to fit your needs and your pace. All of this content is available online, allowing you to learn anytime, anywhere, from your computer, laptop, or tablet through Basecamp. Basecamp is the place where you'll find all of the materials for your learning experience, along with tools for your journey. In Basecamp, you'll be able to share feedback with fellow club members, view badges you've earned, access and save digital speech evaluations, and more. When you first begin Pathways, you'll take an online assessment that will recommend the path that's right for you. You'll be able to access your path from your education transcript in Basecamp, where you can view and complete projects. New elective projects, such as write a compelling blog and manage projects successfully, allow you to tailor your learning to meet your interests. Projects in Basecamp include a variety of interactive elements, including questionnaires, quizzes, menus, and expandable content. Educational videos model skills and provide demonstrations of the concepts you are learning. For example, Prepare for an Interview shows effective and ineffective interview techniques. Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring demonstrates the difference between coaching and mentoring. And Manage Online Meetings provides the best practices and strategies for holding a webinar or another type of online meeting. As you can see, Pathways represents an exciting paradigm shift that brings with it many new learning opportunities. What's more, Pathways will feel familiar to you because it maintains the things you love about Toastmasters, including your club experience. Pathways is coming to your club soon. Visit toastmasters.org/pathways to learn more.
The current program has 5 core competencies: public speaking, interpersonal communications, strategic leadership, management, and confidence. Different combinations of these competencies contribute to 68 different core and subcompetencies that you can develop in Toastmasters. The new Toastmasters program will have 10 paths. The old program, I mentioned there was a communications and a leadership manual. Those 2 tracks are what a person would complete to earn their Distinguished Toastmaster. In the new program, you will complete 2 of these paths in order to earn your Distinguished Toastmasters Award. As you can see, the paths focus on communication as their top priority. Then, the other competencies in individual paths place emphasis on different competencies depending on the overall goals and objectives of that path. For example, if you look at effective coaching, the second one there on the list, the second priority is interpersonal communication. The third focus is on management skills, whereas the next one down, innovative planning, reverses those. You focus on the management skills and then the interpersonal skills, because those are the priorities needed to accomplish those particular tasks. Each path consists of 5 different levels. They will increase in complexity from starting with mastering fundamentals, then learning your style, increasing knowledge, building skills, and demonstrating expertise. You will still complete projects, you will make speeches, you will have required projects, you will have elective projects, just like you can now choose in the advanced communication manuals 6 out of the 15 manuals to complete your Distinguished Toastmaster. You get to choose some of the electives to custom tailor the package to your particular interests and goals. There are a total of 59 projects available today in Pathways. There are some shown here on the screen, some examples. In addition to those, we have several ways of recognizing people's accomplishments. The first will be the awards. As you achieve the different levels, the level 1, level 2, level 3, and up to level 5, you will receive awards. They will appear in your base camp. You can print them out if you want to frame them on the wall, or you can request a professionally printed copy from Toastmasters International, just like the certificates that you receive now when you complete an educational award. Those 4 things, those little red things down there in the left corner of the screen, those are badges. Badges are used to acknowledge another member for something they did exceptionally well. For example, if a member gives a speech that inspires you, you can log on to your base camp, you can find their name in your club list, and you can send them a badge for inspiration. There are other badges. You'll hear more about those as the program rolls out. I already mentioned the evaluations. They tend to be somewhat subjective, and the quality varies from club to club. The new program is taking steps to make sure that they are more consistent. For example, here is an example form for Make Connections Through Networking project. It has blanks where you fill in the information, and at the bottom a place where you can write comments for that speaker that you're evaluating. The next page will have the skills listed for that particular project, and you will rate those skills from 1 to 5, with 1 being needing some improvement, 5 being you absolutely excel and you should be a role model. Now, something new, the 3 will be the standard. If you meet the objectives for that particular project, the 3 means you are there. 4 and 5 mean you excel and you're a role model. 1 and 2 simply mean you need to do some more work, you need to practice some more. But what do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mean? This next page tells you. It actually defines all of the different criteria for each skill that you are evaluating. We have mentors in Toastmasters. That is a very strong part of how we learn in the program. The new Pathways program will make that program even stronger. We will have a separate learning module that members can go through to get certified as a designated Pathways mentor. All members will go through the introduction to Toastmasters mentoring as part of a level 2 project, but if you want to become a mentor, be assigned as a Pathways mentor, you will need to complete this entire program and an entire path. Once you complete that path and this module, then you will be available to be a designated Toastmaster. You may be wondering, that's going to take a while. What do we do for mentors in the meantime? You just keep using the same program. We have mentors today. We will run the programs in parallel, so we will still have mentors available until we get the designated Pathways mentors. Once we finish training all of the clubs in our region, all members will get an email with a link to this launch page for Pathways. You click on the little red button there that says Begin Your Journey, and it will take you to the start screen for Pathways. You'll see some things on there that may sound foreign until you dive in and get used to them. The navigator, choosing your path, base camp, all of those things. We'll take a closer look. The navigator, for example, is your owner's guide. That's your user's manual. Right now, if you look in the back of your speech manual, you will see a resource section. It has a suggested meeting agenda. It has descriptions of the various roles in a meeting. It has descriptions of the club officers' roles. All of that is now in the navigator. The navigator also has help and instructions on how to actually use this website and use your Basecamp and work the program. So the navigator is where you will go for information on how to be a Toastmaster, how to work the program. You can look at it online, you can print out a copy, or you can order a printed copy from Toastmasters International. Your choice. The first thing you will do when you sign in to Pathways is you will choose how you want to access the materials. You can do that either online by ordering this thing called Basecamp. I already said that's your portal. That's how your gateway. That's how you interact with the system. Or you can order the traditional printed materials. Of course, they're all new, but you'll be able to order those as printed materials. Now, you may wonder, why are we offering the printed materials if this new wonderful online experience is so good? Not everyone has access to computers. For example, we have prison clubs in our district, and they typically cannot have access to a computer. I suppose especially the ones that are in there for identity theft and things like that. So you choose your experience, how you want to access the material. You will then take a self-assessment quiz. This will help you decide which pathway to start with. You will choose the top 3 categories that are of interest to you. Then you'll answer some questions. For example, I feel relaxed while giving a speech. Do you agree, strongly agree, or do you strongly disagree that you are absolutely not relaxed? After you complete that self-assessment quiz, it will give you 3 suggested paths as your starting point. You can read all the description about those paths. If you don't like those 3, scroll down. You can read descriptions about the other 7 paths. I have heard comments from people who are working the program already, and they say that when they first got their suggested paths, they thought, that doesn't sound like what I want to do or what I want to be when I grow up. And then once they actually got into it, they said, you know, this is right on. This is where I need to be right now. So I would suggest that you trust the self-assessment quiz and go with whatever they suggest. By the way, there is a 30-day trial period. If you do not like the path you're on, you can switch to another path with no penalty. When you start Pathways, you will take that quiz. Then you will go in here and you will choose your path. You may notice on the screen here it says you can choose a path for another member. That would be if your club officers need to do that for someone who doesn't have access to a computer or doesn't want to do it or whatever reason. I know some of you belong to more than one club. When you look over there on the right box, it says select your club. If you only belong to one club, there will only be one choice. But for those of you who belong to multiple clubs, you can choose which club you want to interact with at that time by choosing from the drop-down menu, then log in as a member. We encourage everyone to immediately go to Pathways once it goes live in our region. However, we recognize that some of you are on the path. I have finished my Distinguished Toastmaster Award and I'm working toward a second one, but I am going to jump right in and start the new Pathways. As it turns out, I am currently working on my Competent Communicator Manual again, and I'm almost finished. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that. But then I will not continue on with the advanced manuals to complete another Distinguished Toastmaster in that program. I will finish that manual, then I'm going to jump right into Pathways. Once we go live with Pathways in our region, new members who join your club will not have a choice. They will be enrolled in Pathways. So this is why we're doing this training. It's critical that all of our clubs are up to speed on how Pathways works, because even if you're still working the old program, the new members are going to be working the new one, and you need to know how to support them and encourage them in their journey. There's a handout that is going to describe some of the changes. The club experience is going to be identical. The meeting will remain the same. You'll still give speeches. You'll still be evaluated. You will still have impromptu speaking. All of that remains the same, but as you can see from the chart, there will be a lot of enhancements in Pathways. Some of you may be wondering how this is going to affect the Distinguished Club program. We have 6 out of the 10 goals given to us each year by Toastmasters International geared directly toward achieving educational goals. They are listed in the current program on the left side of your screen. Competent Communicator Awards, Competent Leader Awards, Advanced Communicator Awards, and so on. The new program will have goals for members achieving the different levels of those 5 levels. During the interim period, we will be running both programs in parallel. We estimate it will take another full year to roll Pathways out in the entire world, and then we will have a 2-year grace period when we'll run the programs in parallel. So any 6 of these 12 goals will meet the 6 educational goals during that interim period. We recognize that this is a major change in the program. We have a great support hierarchy in place to help you, starting with our district leadership team. We have ambassadors who are out promoting the program and getting people on board. And we have people like me, your Pathways Guide. I'm here to help and will continue to support the club through the transition and for 4 months afterwards. To get started, I have delivered today to the Vice President of Education of this club a kit that contains a printed copy of the Navigator. It has a welcome letter. It has 20 copies of the handout that can be given to the club members. And it has a flash drive with other resources for the Vice President of Education. When you first get the email to log in, you'll see some tutorials like how to navigate Basecamp, and it will encourage you to check compatibility for your system. The most common issue is going to be the pop-up blockers, because this application makes extensive use of pop-ups. So you'll want to be sure to enable pop-ups for this website. You don't need to turn off the whole blocker, but enable this website. And the support will continue. If you have questions, you should contact your club Vice President of Education. If your VPE cannot answer the question, then they contact me. If I can't answer, I kick it up a level until we get an answer. The obvious reason, of course, is we don't want 10,000 people asking one person questions. So we have the hierarchy in place to provide full support during the transition. What I encourage you to do right now, if you haven't already, log in to Toastmasters.org. You need to make sure that you have your user ID and your password set up. When you receive that email at launch time, you want to be able to go in and access Pathways. And if you're not already set up in the Toastmasters website, you will not be able to do that. So go in there, log in, and make sure that you can access the website so you are ready. You can also go in and get a sample of Pathways right now, because they have the first project we call the Icebreaker Speech is completely available on the website. And you don't even have to sign in. Even non-members can go in and look at the Icebreaker project. Simply go on to the homepage, the Toastmasters.org homepage, click on the Education tab across the top and the Pathways tab, and then scroll down and you will see the Icebreaker project. You will see that it has various quizzes, it has video clips demonstrating ideal behavior, it has evaluation forms, it has a guide, an outline for writing your Icebreaker speech. It's an incredibly updated tool. It's very powerful, and it's quite different from what we're used to in the existing manuals. I appreciate your taking time to watch this, and I hope you're as excited about Pathways as I am. I do encourage you to log in, check it out, and get started when you get the email launching the program.
I joined Toastmasters to improve my speaking, listening, communication, and leadership skills.
Toastmasters gave me incredible confidence.
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 Great listening skills.
Poise.
Great leadership skills.
Leadership skills.
The ability to speak in public.
Strength. A captive audience.
Quality feedback from the more experienced Toastmasters.
Toastmasters really helped me improve my listening skills.
Sales skills.
Opportunities to go to different groups and widen my whole horizon.
Toastmasters has given me a more focused me, and I'm a much better listener. Toastmasters is fulfilling.
It's a great place to fail your way to success.
Wonderful way to meet people.
Networking. Strength. It's addictive.
It's a club of self-improvement.
It's an experience, it's a ride that you won't forget, and you'll enjoy it every step of the way.
Toastmasters helped me land a kick-butt job. I sang at one of my table topic speeches, and people liked it and applauded.
My business is doing great, and I'm very, very grateful to Toastmasters.
It's been a great experience for me.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for giving me so much confidence.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for everything.